Welcome back, guys. This is Repeat, and we're going to be summarizing Module 7 today. Course 2, Real Estate Salesperson Program, delivered by Humber. Alright, so I went through this course, and basically the course summary does a very good job in summarizing the lessons. So, summarizing Lesson 1, Module 7. Major components of an electrical system. Electrical service enters the building from the street via electrical service entrance cable into the electrical main disconnect, where it can be shut off. From there it goes to the distribution panel and gets sent through circuits to various outlets, where appliances can be plugged in. The electrical main disconnect is often incorporated into the distribution panel. Considerations when a system is using fuses. When an electrical system has fuses in the distribution panel, each of these fuses must have the same rating as the wiring it is protecting. Types of wires and outlets used in residential properties. Most houses use copper wiring, but aluminum wiring can be found in older homes. Aluminum wiring is prone to oxidation, and is softer and more brittle than copper. These qualities can result in bad connections and pose a fire risk. Some insurers will not insure homes with aluminum wiring without additional work done to ensure connections are secure. Knob and tube wiring was used in homes prior to the 1930s. It is not grounded and can be dangerous. Insurers are reluctant to insure homes with knob and tube wiring because of its increased fire risk. So it is an area of concern when selling or buying a home. Outlets should be grounded, and bathroom and outdoor circuits should contain ground fault circuit interrupters. Indicators of potential problems with an electrical system. There are several things that indicate problems with an electrical system. A salesperson should know what to look for and call in third-party professional to deal with any problems. These include frequent blown fuses or tripped circuit breakers, hot or charred outlets, burning smells, flickering or dimming lights, electrical shocks, and light bulbs burning out too quickly. What are the benefits of having solar panels? Solar panels can be installed in homes with enough roof space and access to sunshine. With a net metering system, more electricity can be created during the summer months, creating a surplus in the form of credit, which can be used to offset the cost of electricity bills for days with decreased availability of sunlight. So that was lesson 1. We're going to talk about heating and cooling systems in lesson 2. Heating and cooling systems. Houses can be heated using several different methods. Air can be heated in a furnace and sent to different rooms in the house using fans or blowers to send it through ductwork. Alternatively, sorry. Excuse my English. Alternatively, hot water or steam can be sent through pipes to radiators in the various rooms of the house. In addition, radiant panels in the floor, walls, or ceilings can heat rooms directly. These panels are heated by circulating hot water through copper wires. Electrical heating coils can also be placed in ceilings or floors to heat rooms directly. Furnaces can be fired by gas, propane, oil, or electricity. Electricity is cheaper to install but costlier in the long run. Air conditioning relies on compressing refrigerant to liquid and using the cooling effect of its evaporation to cool air. This cooled air is then blown through the house using fans and ductwork. Secondary sources of heating. Wood burning fireplaces are used for their aesthetic qualities rather than their heating, since they often remove more heat from the air than they create. Gas fireplaces are more energy efficient than wood ones, emit less harmful and dirty waste, and do not need a chimney as they can be vented directly to the outside. When gas fireplaces are vented, there is no need for a chimney, which means less heat is lost. Innovations in heating and cooling. There have been several innovations in heating and cooling systems in the recent years. Motion sensor air conditioners can turn off heating slash cooling in unused rooms. Geofencing thermostats and other smart innovations allow people to use their mobile device to control the temperature in their home when they are away. Ground source heat pumps use buried underground to pick up heat in the winter and expel heat in the summer. That was lesson 2. Let's see if we can find more details. Heating and cooling innovations. So basically zoned heating and cooling. Motion sensor, we already talked about this. Let's see if we can find something else that may be useful. Alright, that's pretty much it for lesson 2. Lesson 3, they talk about plumbing systems. Again, we're going to go to the end and just summarize the whole lesson. Plumbing systems in residential properties are designed for two basic functions: supplying water for drinking, washing, and cooking, and disposing of gray water and waste. Disposing of gray water and waste involves drainage, which is the expelling of wastewater from the system, and venting, which is the way of expelling air and other gases from the plumbing system. Different types of piping are used and have been used in the past for different functions. In modern homes, copper is most common for distribution, while PVC is most common for drainage and venting. Galvanized steel was used for distribution in the past but is now only used for venting. Water efficiency. Water efficiency is the minimum amount of water used to accomplish a function, task, or result. Anything from a leaky tap to old appliances to corroded plumbing systems can reduce water efficiency. Water inefficiency is bad for the environment and costs money. Older systems and appliances should also often be upgraded to improve water efficiency. Key considerations for plumbing and water distribution. You should be aware of indicators of issues with plumbing systems. Kitech was a form of plumbing used from 1995 to 2007 that was supposed to be easier to install and a cheaper alternative to copper. However, this product can fail and lead to flooding and loss of water pressure. Galvanized steel piping was designed as an alternative to lead piping but can be found to corrode over time and collect lead deposits from older water mains, leading to problems with water quality. Lead piping can still be found in older homes and can become corroded and contaminate water. Let's see if we can find some other useful stuff here that might be good. So the functions of plumbing was basically water supply, water drainage, and disposal of water. So there's service pipes can be lead, galvanized steel, copper, or plastic piping. Problems with service pipes. Lead service pipes, basically, yeah, we talked about this. Can contaminate water and can be hazardous to health. Galvanized steels can rust, and Kitech pipes can it can have brass fittings, have a high zinc content, and can cause corrosion. They can even burst or start leaking if the temperature is too high. So yeah, leaks in service pipes can go undetected because the pipe is buried and difficult to see. Obstruct or partially closed valves. If the main shutoff valve is partially closed or obstructed in some way, this will cause low pressure in the whole water system. Okay, cool. Problems with service pipes, they can be too small or shared service pipes, pressure reducing valves, or they can have a freezing effect. Yeah, that's basically it. Problems with waste piping, they can back up uh, and cause flooding that contains stormwater and raw sewage, which is a serious health concern. Sewer line from house to street. These lines are often made of clay in older homes and are vulnerable to collapse and obstruct tree roots and soil, can cause flooding and sewer backup in the basement. Overloaded drain. Sometimes municipalities place a limit to how many fixtures can discharge into a drain pipe. This may lead to difficulty when applying for permission to expand the plumbing system. And that's pretty much it, I think. And they did talk about like different pipes. You can read that and see what they say. Alright, I think we covered most of the things here in lesson 3. Let's move on to lesson 4. Sources of water supply for residential properties. So, the sources of water supply, there are several different types of wells that are used in residential properties. Dug wells, drilled wells, bored wells, and point-driven wells. Some homes source their water from nearby lakes and rivers. This water is more susceptible to contamination than well water and needs treatment to be drinkable. It is more common to use such a water supply in seasonal homes than permanent residents. Wells can be shared between multiple properties. Usually in such cases there is a well owner who maintains the well and a shared well agreement between the owner and all other users. Well maintenance agreements are important when a well is shared to ensure that all parties meet their obligations to each other. Well records are important as sources of information about the installation of existing wells. Maintaining water quality. Wells must be installed, maintained, and inspected by contractors who are licensed by the Ministry of Environment, Conservation, and Parks. Wells must be treated to monitor and maintain water quality, ideally at least annually. As wells get their water from groundwater, well owners must ensure that groundwater does not get contaminated. It is important to use testing to monitor the water quality, flow rate, and recovery rate of wells. Well water systems and key considerations when siting a well, it must be properly located to get the best source of water and remain within the certain minimum distances from lot lines and from potential sources of contamination. There are several ways the water from any source can be treated to remove contamination, including water softening, reverse osmosis, granulated activated carbon filtration, and ultraviolet. When wells are decommissioned, they must be properly sealed and their location must be recorded to avoid danger in the future. That was lesson 4. Let's move on to lesson 5. They talk about sewage systems. So, sewage types, combined versus separate. Most houses expel waste into municipal sewer system, where waste travels through the sewer to a treatment facility. Older neighborhoods often use combined storm and sanitary sewers, while newer areas use separate storm and sanitary sewers. Basements are less likely to get flooded with separate sewers. With combination sewers, a surge of storm water can cause water and raw sewage to back up into the house. Backwater valves. These valves to let the water flow into the drain but prevent it from backing up. However, sewage can still back up into the house through basement plumbing fixtures if the pressure is very high. Installation consideration. For separate sewers, flood drains connect to the sanitary sewer. In some municipalities, downspouts are connected to the drain tile around the perimeter of the foundation and then discharged into a storm sewer. Other municipalities don't allow this and require that downspouts discharge water at ground level that is sloped toward a swale gully between properties. The grading of properties is designed so that water in the swale is directed toward storm sewers in the street. Sewage system classes. There are 5 classes on-site sewage systems. Class 4 septic systems consist of septic tank and leaching bed system and are most common class of on-site system used. They have a life expectancy of 30 years and can cost about $15,000 to $20,000 to upgrade. Septic system requirements. Class 4 septic systems use a septic tank that contains bacteria to break down solid waste into liquid. The liquid is then sent via gravity to an underground network of pipes called a leaching bed. In order to ensure health and safety of residents, the Ontario Building Code has set down requirements that must be followed regarding maximum daily flow, location of septic tanks, and site evaluation, location of leaching beds, and a tank design. Permits and plans. When applying for a permit to install or upgrade a septic sewage system, the Ontario Building Code requires several technical drawings, permits, and plans to be submitted, including a site plan, sections and details, leaching bed information, septic tank information, minimum distances for septic tanks. The sketch will show where the leaching bed and septic tank are located on the lot. The municipality will calculate the capacity that the septic system needs to have based on the number of bedrooms and number of fixtures and living area of the house. Septic system issues. Most problems with septic systems are caused by misuse, usually because homeowners do not understand how they work. Here are the most common septic tank issues: root damage, blocked leaching pipes, malfunctioning valves in septic tank, buildup of solids in septic tank, construction over leaching bed, vehicle damage, and too many plumbing fixtures. Septic system best practices. There are a few actions that homeowners should avoid to ensure that their septic system functions effectively for a long time. Using excess water, flushing non-biodegradable items, using too much detergent or bleach, flushing harsh chemicals into the system. So you should avoid doing this to make sure that your septic systems is functional for a long time. Maintaining septic tanks. There are some actions that homeowners should take to ensure that their septic tank is being maintained properly. Septic tanks should be pumped every 3 to 5 years. Surface waters must drain away from the area of the leaching bed. The system should be inspected by a licensed contractor every year or when selling a house. The leaching bed should be covered in grass, be well ventilated, and have adequate sunlight. Any problems should be reported to public health authorities. Fire pits should never be put on the leaching bed area. All household waste pipings should connect to septic tank. Water softeners and house tubs should not be connected to a sewage system. So that was basically lesson 5. Let's see if we can find some more cool information about this lesson. Hmm. Okay, remember when we said there's five classes? So class 1 constitutes waterless toilets including pits, privy vaults, uh, portable toilets, chemicals, and composting toilets. Class 2 constitutes grey water systems. They are soaks or leaching pits that are used for non-human waste water. These have maximum sewage flow set by the Ontario Building Code. Class 3 is similar to Class 2 system but designed for human waste and is also known as cesspool. They are often dumping stations for recreational vehicles. Class 4 constitutes a septic tank, a leaching bed system. This is the most common class of on-site system used. It uses a tank to break down solid waste and distributes it into the soil using a leaching bed. So here you can see the diagram of how things work. So there's a toilet, the waste goes here into the tank. So the tank is also underground, maybe in the backyard or the front lot. And then the water goes through the leaching field. Okay, household water flows into the two-chambered septic tank, and there solid waste falls and collects at the bottom for later pump outs. The wastewater then continues to a leaching field for perforated pipes for natural absorption sorry, into the soil. Okay, class 5 constitutes a system that uses the holding tanks for retaining sewage, which is collected and then taken away for treatment. So now we know the 5 class systems. Leaching bed, we've already talked about this. Yeah, we've talked about this. Yeah, so that was basically lesson 5. I believe I've covered everything I need to know and you need to know, but please do go over it yourself so you are well prepared when you will take the exam. Okay, so this is pretty much it for lesson 5. Lesson 6 is basically summary practice activities and the module summary. It's nothing much. All they do is just tell you what you need to know, which I think is not helpful at all. So this literally just be like, oh, you should be able to advise a seller or buyer. Oh, you should have a good knowledge of what you need to do. Blah blah blah. So the module summary is not that good, but the lesson summaries do kind of help. Alright, so this was module 7. Thank you for listening. I hope this helped. I'll see you again in module for the video for the module 8. Alright, good night. Bye.